Please sit down. Again, good morning and welcome to the 24th anniversary commemoration of the United Democratic Party. As it is our custom in the Gambia, before we start any of our proceedings, we invoke the name of the Almighty God and seek prayer and solace from His beneficent mercies. Before starting the prayers, the party leader has instructed me to recognize a few amongst many prominent Gambians who in the last 6 weeks or so have answered the ultimate call. We are naming them today in remembrance and in prayer to Almighty Allah that their souls be granted the highest heavens. Most Gambians were greeted with the sad news of the demise of Alhaji Ali Mboj, an exemplary public servant from the First Republic until Allah took him away from us. He has served this country well. He has been a great Gambian. Just a few days ago, the Deputy Imam Ratib of Banjul, of the capital city, Alhaji Tafsir Gay, also answered the ultimate call. Our own Langjanke Jaite, advisor to all Badibu, also answered the call. So has Sirif Mohammed Mbai, who has also answered the call. Our Auntie Lucrecia Diba, mother of Oli Diba Wada, also very recently answered the call. Modu Sise, formerly of the Central Bank of the Gambia, also a distinguished civil servant who has served this country well. There are just too many illustrious sons and daughters of the Gambia who have passed on in these last 6 to 8 weeks. We want everybody to remember that they have served their country and they pass on with very positive ambitions for our nation. And we would want to remember them on this very special day of our party. So may I ask all of us to stand and rise and observe 1 minute silence, and then we do the traditional Salatul Fatiha as prayers for the deceased as well as prayers for our great party on this very special day. Thank you very much. Let's continue in prayer. I'll ask Alhaji KKB Barrow, the majority leader of the National Assembly, to lead us in prayer, in Muslim prayer.
ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد ليتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله.
I'll now ask Sister Mary to lead us in Christian prayer. Amen. Thank you very much, Alaji KKB Barrow. Thank you very much, Sister Mary Jones. You may all be seated now, ladies and gentlemen. Anniversaries are always bittersweet because last year when we were celebrating this anniversary, the father of our nation was still alive and with us, even though a little bit frail. So today we are celebrating this anniversary with a heavy heart. The father of the nation passed away on the 28th of August, 2019. So we remember him in our prayers. We remember all the dearly departed citizens of this country. We remember all our comrades who have not lived to see this 24th anniversary of the party. Again, anniversaries are important and we have to mark them because they serve as a reminder of where we have been and where we need to be as a people, as a nation. Anniversaries are necessary because they are also occasions for thanksgiving for the life of the illustrious sons and daughters of this country who have, over the years, struggled against dictatorship, have tried everything, put their life, their properties, their comforts, and their conveniences in the service of the nation. So we say thank you to Allah Almighty. We say thank you to all Gambians who have kept faith with the United Democratic Party. We say thank you also to those who have given their lives ultimately so that this country will grow to be a democratic and representative country. August for the United Democratic Party is a very auspicious month because our party was born in this month. Our party leader was born in this month. The father of the nation answered the ultimate call in this month. So for us, August cannot come and go without marking the significance and the symbolism that this month has in the life of the Gambia. Of course, this is a socially distant event. All of us are wearing masks so that we can flatten the curve against coronavirus. This is a very anxious time for the Gambia and for the whole world. We are looking for hope and inspiration from ourselves. We are praying and invoking the mercies and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that this scourge of the COVID pandemic is eradicated from our world. That is why this year is very special. There wouldn't be a lot of speeches or celebrations, but I think it is entirely appropriate to look at the birth statement of the United Democratic Party. And I'm very grateful to my brother and compatriot, Mr. Joey Goswell, who is resident in the UK, my learned senior. He has posted the press statement of our party leader on 23rd August 1996. This was carried by the Foroya newspaper of that day. And I think on a day of symbolism, on a day of remembrance, on a day of thanksgiving, we cannot forget to recognize that our party was founded on the holiest day of the Muslim calendar. Our celebration of the 24th anniversary is on the holiday of the Christian calendar. So Friday and Sunday are very significant Gambian days, and they are very significant to the United Democratic Party. I will only read a part of that press conference to tell those of us who are assembled here and who were not there in 1996 what was the vision of Alhaji Ousainou Darboe, what was Lawyer Darboe's vision for the Gambia in 1996. This is what the computer does to you sometimes. All right. I quote, "The recent ban by the AFPRC government on certain political parties and persons has introduced a grave and serious dimension to the body politic of our country. Until the introduction of the ban, the nation was relatively happy with the progress towards the return to democratic civilian rule. Following this ban, and desirous of sustaining multi-party democracy in the Gambia, a large number of concerned Gambians from all over the country have agreed to form and register a new political party in the interest of democracy, freedom of choice, and association of our dear motherland. The party pledges to uphold and defend collectively and singularly the common good, freedom, justice, and equality for all, irrespective of gender, race, religious or political affiliation as enshrined in the Constitution. In this regard, the rule of law, tolerance, democracy, and political pluralism will be the cornerstone of the party. I repeat, in this regard, the rule of law, tolerance, democracy, and political pluralism will be the cornerstone of the party. To achieve this objective, the new political party will field candidates for all elections in the Gambia, namely presidential, parliamentary, and municipal elections. In light of the foregoing, we appeal to all Gambians to give us their unequivocal support in our struggle to restore true democracy to our country. We hope and pray to Allah the Almighty to guide and protect us in our quest for the advancement of peace, stability, and prosperity in the Gambia. It is our firm commitment and conviction to work indefatigably for the transformation of this country, the Gambia, into a haven of peace and tranquility equal to none in the world. During this press conference, end of quote. During this press conference, the party leader made it absolutely clear where we were heading and what we need to do, hence our name. We needed to present a united front for democracy. So we are the United Democratic Party. Our party in the last 24 years, 22 of which has paid with blood, tears, and incalculable sacrifices. Sons and daughters of this party have been assassinated, have been tortured, have been incarcerated, simply because they wanted democracy to come and flourish again in the Gambia. I can see Alaji Kemeseng Jambe, His Excellency, the former ambassador to Turkey. I can see the deputy party leader, Ajaratu Yamseka. I can see the acting national president. These people were there on day one. But many of their compatriots, many of their comrades have fallen and they have not been blessed to see this day. So in this last 24 years, what the party has been trying to do for our nation is to provide service on questioning, on demanding service. It's a leadership of service, it's a leadership of vision, and we have all seen Alaji Usainu Dabo was vice president. He was living at Kairaba Avenue, a property he owned in the 80s, and Kotu. So his sacrifice, the sacrifice of the leadership of this movement, is not for prestige or for purpose. It's a leadership of serving your fellow countrymen. And because of all of this, like I said, today is not a day for speeches and thanksgivings. It's only for thanksgivings. We will have only one main statement from the party leader on this auspicious day to mark it in remembrance, in celebration of the great lives that have graced this party. But the most significant aspect of today is the signing of the Founders Day Declaration with the subtitle Plante Neto. And as you can see, we have some fruit trees of the Gambia, native trees of the Gambia, around the room. We are hoping that some of our leaders will symbolically plant some of them and they would grow around the Manjai Bureau of KMC. So really, we are not going to stand on ceremony. We believe that this declaration is timely, especially in a time when you have COVID-19 ravaging not only the health sector, but also affecting our economy in a very significant way. We look back to our great history of struggle, but we should be able to look forward also to an economic renaissance and transformation that these last 24 years has been a struggle to achieve. So the program, as you just heard, is only to hear the Secretary General and the party leader to say a few words really about the significance of this day, and then to sign the declaration establishing the pledge to do as much as we can to grow our own food, to grow the fruit trees of this country to a level where people can find livelihoods, people can find sustenance from this. So without any further ado, I will urge all of you to put your hands together and welcome the Secretary General and Party Leader of the United Democratic Party, Lawyer Usainu Dabo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tal. And let me say that yesterday night, my colleague, Jovis Goswell, called me from UK and said, "Lu akuidewa, amna dara, namako gene ci bottom box." That is to say, he has something which is of great treasure, of great value for the UDP and indeed for the Gambia. He refused to disclose to me what was in the bottom box. Indeed, if he did reveal it to me, I think that would have been my statement today. I would not have added anything to that. We are very grateful to those who keep records of the United Democratic Party so that when the time comes to write the history of the Gambia, this information will be easily available, readily available. And I also want to thank you, Mr. Tal, for remembering some of our compatriots who have been of service to this nation. In fact, I think about 3 days ago, we lost another great man, a great statue of the United Democratic Party in the person of Mankamanturi in Gunju. And we continue to pray for him and all others. Having said that, let me say good afternoon to you, the Deputy Party Leader and Deputy Secretary General, the Acting National President of the party, the Majority Leader, and all of you who are present here, and good afternoon to all our supporters, to all our members spread around the Gambia, to all those in every country of Africa, and to those in Europe. And good evening to those of our supporters and members who are in the Far East. And good morning to all those in the United States of America and the Americas. Today marks the 24th anniversary of the founding of our great party, the United Democratic Party. Unlike previous years, when we would gather in crowds of comrades to celebrate and reflect on the enduring journey we have embarked on to build a Gambia that is as good as the diverse people that constitute it. The challenges of a ravaging pandemic requires that this year we commemorate the founding of the party differently. I want to begin by acknowledging the valiant efforts of our frontline health workers who, at great risk to their personal well-being and with very little resources available to them, are exerting tremendous effort to keep all of us safe. It is a matter of grave concern. We continue to see sharp increases in the rates of infections as well as hospitalization and fatalities. I call on every citizen and residents of the country to recognize the present scope and serious consequences of this deadly pandemic and strictly follow the prescribed guidelines issued by our health professionals at all times. Compliance with rules and regulations that interfere with normal routines of life is not an easy proposition, but the alternative scenario of flouting professional advice designed to curtail a highly contagious pandemic, either through denial of its existence or opting to dispense with the inconvenience and difficulties associated with compliance would only make the situation worse for all of us. A situation that risks lives demands unprecedented sacrifices from every individual. And I am urging all of us to choose the difficult but necessary route of compliance, endurance, and inconvenience. But that does not absolve our government of its core responsibilities to help the citizens face and cope with this deadly pandemic. At the leadership and strategic level, the government has failed miserably to plan and execute an effective and comprehensive approach to this deadly disease. It wasted time and resources on bureaucratic half measures that has taken much needed resources from hospitals, patients, equipment, and frontline workers. The recently announced decision of designating the Serakunda Hospital as an exclusive COVID-19 treatment center risks jeopardizing access to health care for a large number of patients that rely on this facility for the treatment of non-COVID illnesses at a time when our already overstretched health facilities have difficulties coping with their existing patient loads. The net result would be denial of easy access to medical care for treatment of other illnesses. A better alternative would be to release to the Minister of Health the big air-conditioned tents that Yaya Jammeh purchased from funds currently sitting on State House grounds and position them at suitable locations, properly equipped to be used as a treatment center for COVID-19 patients. It can accommodate a large number of patients and their caregivers with some augmentation of materials and other resources. This will allow our limited health facilities to use a cross-section of patients battling non-COVID serious illnesses as the identified COVID cases are referred to the designated treatment centers. It is sad that during this pandemic, far too many of our citizens, especially the poor and the vulnerable, have been left to wither in the vines without even the token food supplies purchased from COVID-19 funds reaching them, the deserving beneficiaries. We must all demand better of our government to uphold their primary duty to the citizens and step up by bringing in independent experts from a large pool of our talented citizens to manage and better organize our approach to this deadly disease. To help our experts better manage this pandemic, I implore each and every one of us present ourselves for voluntary COVID-19 tests in order to determine our status. I have submitted myself to the test, and thanks to Allah the Almighty, I have tested negative. We should all do the same. Today, as we commemorate 24 years of the party's existence, I pay homage to the men and women, young and old, spread across the length and breadth of our beloved Gambia and to our compatriots across all continents of the world. I am especially pleased with the sheer number and diversity of very talented and experienced professionals who have joined our ranks over the years. These are among the best in our country, and their membership of and support for UDP give me great hope about the future of your party and the country to which we are all committed. I extend my profound gratitude to our vigorous and hard-working chapters spread across the globe for their dedication, superb organizational skills, and laser beam focus on what is best for Gambia. UDP diaspora is and has been essential to the history and future of our party. On this special occasion of our anniversary, I take great pride to introduce and launch the newest unit within our party, the UDP student wing. This dedicated, energetic, intelligent group of youths in the University of the Gambia and other tertiary institutions inspire great confidence in their commitment to democracy and the role they are carving out for themselves in this pursuit. They are fully engaged in the entire country with focal persons in every community. This unit is the disciple that preaches UDP's values to their peers, exchange ideas with them, and encouraging each other to be agents of change in diverse ways. They are leading voluntary efforts in helping spread awareness regarding the pandemic, spearheading our face mask distribution efforts, and working with others to help the needy. These youths have heartily adopted the ethos and selfless commitment of those who preceded them in the presence of comrades like Solo, Shingul, Lamarong, Femi, Solo Koroma, Kanyiba, Sajo Kunjang, Kunda Kamara, Papa Ture, Ibrahima Janko Sise, and Antasamba, and many others no longer with us. The support, encouragement, hard work, and dedication of our entire membership over the years is what has helped sustain the resilience of this party despite all the efforts, violence, and torture dedicated to our party and people. With all these, you, the members and supporters of UDP, have endured with courage and dignity. You partnered with like-minded citizens to continue to write the history of our nation. I want us to continue that tradition, forged in the belief of the moral rectitude of our cause. I wish to reiterate my repeated counsel to UDP members, supporters, and friends, and that is to respectfully engage, seek the support of, and dialogue with every Gambian with utmost humility and decorum. Our task and objective is to persuade our fellow citizens about the efficacy of our ideas regarding our shared goals of making Gambia better for all. Whilst I am confident that we are not bereft of good ideas, and indeed of the best of ideas, we do not claim or pretend to have a monopoly on good ideas, and therefore we must all be willing to listen to ideas different from ours with the hope of becoming and building consensus. We must all refrain at all costs from the politics of bitterness, insults, and polarization. Let us reflect on the sacrifices of our heroes who are no longer with us, but their enduring legacy of commitment to ideas above and beyond their personal needs remain in our hearts and that of a grateful nation. The journey to defeating a vicious tyrant in 2016 was the culmination of 22 years of efforts, prayers, hard work, blood, tears, exile, disappearances, imprisonment, torture, and economic ruin of several people. Our people fought in all these categories as part of a necessary battle, selflessly, courageously, and with passion, not in the quest for what they can get for themselves or their families. They were driven by love for country and the firm belief that Gambia deserved a democracy and a government that was as good as its people. Those who wish to peddle the counterfactual history that the victory of democracy over tyranny in 2016 was a 3-month transaction led by an unknown lion killer, fool no one with their delusions but themselves. Our collective freedom was delivered in 2016 by those who never gave up on the promise of democracy as an instrument for change, and especially on the capacity and experience of ordinary Gambians in the utilization of peaceful change. Those are the people who would stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning to receive a UDP delegation in their villages, or like-minded citizens in the diaspora, working across party lines and with unaffiliated independents to support a united front to flush out a tyrant. They gave money, voice, and delivered political capital here at home through family and community interventions to defeat a tyrant and restore democracy. I will conclude with a note of gratitude to all who share our ideals for a better Gambia. UDP is more than a party for the faithful. It is an idea etched into our hearts and founded on the principles of sacrifice, fidelity to the rule of law, and firm commitment to honest and transparent leadership. I invite all Gambians to join us in this enduring journey to make our country better, seek and bring out the best ideas from our best brains wherever they may be to address our challenges and expand our opportunities. I pray to Allah to see us through these difficult times, heal the sick, and protect the healthy. We pray for next year to find us in better circumstances and for the country to have an opportunity to seek a different and better direction. Thank you all, and always follow the guidelines of the Minister of Health and WHO so that together we can contain and beat back what has appropriately been described as the beast. Happy anniversary. Long live the Republic of the Gambia, and long live the United Democratic Party.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Secretary General and Party Leader, for that really inspiring speech. And I'm sure the media notices the focus and the emphasis on the current pandemic and the need to follow the signs, to follow the advice of professionals, to understand that this disease poses an existential threat for our nation. The party leader also made a roll call of party stalwarts who have answered the ultimate call. So we thank you very much. Lawyer Dabo is the only politician who has his profession attached to his name. Everywhere you go in the Gambia, they call him Lawyer Dabo. And the great Jaliba has a very wonderful song for him, Gambia Lawyer Ba Usainu Dabo. We are grateful for your service to your nation. We are grateful for your leadership of purpose, your leadership of integrity, your leadership of extraordinary competence. May Allah keep you before us for many, many, many years to come when we celebrate the Golden Jubilee of the United Democratic Party. Allah can do this, and may He do it in the name of the Prophet of mankind, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, today is not a day for speeches. We've got our message, we've got our marching order from our party leader. I see the former finance minister, Alaji Amadou Sane, sitting quietly, gently, as he always does. The transformation that he was trying to bring to our fiscal space did not complete. But in 2021, inshallah, we will continue the work that we have been doing. We recognize his sacrifice, his presence, and like all our leaders, the majority leader, His Excellency Kenneth Njame, National Acting President Auntie Mary, the Deputy Party Leader Auntie Seka, for all these years of service and work to the nation. We recognize also the Gambian diaspora and our colleagues and brothers and sisters from the other political parties for years of trying to serve our country and take it to a better place. The next item on our agenda is the official and formal signing of the Founders Day Declaration or Plante Neto. Symbolically, the party leader will sign 24 to mark the 24th birthday anniversary. We see that GRTS is in the media here, and all the other media houses that are here. The party will give each of your media houses a Neto as a symbol of goodwill. We have some seedlings around that you can also take care of in your places of work, and it would be a reminder of the bond between the United Democratic Party and the people who are also struggling with us, because the media was a big support to the United Democratic Party in the 22 years of dictatorship that we have here. So as a symbol also, we will give out some of these seedlings. This is a very ambitious project, and we know that political movements, political parties are fond of promising people. And when the time to redeem that promise comes, they will tell you another story. We just want to make the record absolutely clear that we are committed as a movement, as a people's movement, to changing our economy, to changing our politics for the better, to making sure that promises made are promises kept. And as an act of goodwill, we want this declaration to be considered as one of our statement of purpose to our entire nation, to the future generations that are coming, and we will redeem this pledge in entirety. We will redeem it in full, and by 2023, we will show evidence that these are the 2 million trees that we have promised the Gambian people. And if you go to Mansajankunda in Basse, if you go to Mari Bantang in Dankunku, you will find these trees there. Yes, we said Plante Neto because we believe that our native trees and our food culture should be very clear to all Gambians. Everybody who likes Mbahal or Domoda or Super knows that you need a little bit of netetu in your food. And a lot of Gambians are growing up without a direct connection to the forest cover and the huge benefit this forest cover has for our nation. So this is some of the reasons why we thought that such a declaration is timely, especially in this time of economic and general humanitarian anxiety. So without any further ado, we will have the Secretary General and party leader do the honors, and we will ask the party leadership that is present here to give each media house one seedling for them to take care of in a spirit of partnership, in a spirit of Gambianness. Ladies and gentlemen, the party leader will now sign the Founders Day Declaration 2020. My leader is going to use a yellow pen, huh? Like I said, we have this idea All of these original signatures on the declaration, we have the idea to honor the legacy and the work of the first president of the Gambia, Sadara Kairaba Jawara. At the appropriate time, the party leadership will pay a courtesy visit to Lieutenant Jawara and hand over this declaration. Like we have in the last paragraph of the declaration, this is really a tribute to the work and the legacy of the first president of the Gambia, and also the father of the nation. So on this day, we want to urge all Gambians to join us in a campaign to have a solemn declaration either in the hall of the National Assembly or in the cabinet adopting Alhaji Sadara Kairaba Jawara officially as the father of the nation, so that whenever we refer to him, we add that title to his name. We need to live his legacy. We should understand that he is our greatest statesman. He is the one who helped shape Gambia and give it its character. So he is really beyond party politics now, and we are extending again our condolences to his family and to the entire nation for all he has done for our country. So these original signatures will be option among our party faithful and well-wishers, so that we can have some seed money to start the project proper. The project is going to be for 3 years. We have already started talking to people in the seedling and sapling business, and they are all very excited. I even got an invitation this morning that there is an EU project in Banjul trying to plant coconut trees there. We have a few coconut trees. Maybe they will be symbolically planted around the bureau here in Manjai. The mayor of KMC, the mayor of Banjul could not attend because we wanted this to be socially distanced event. The majority of the executive committee also were advised not to attend, to ensure that we don't have a large crowd. UDP is famous for the crowd that it always pulls up. So I thank you very much, the media, for your partnership over the years and for always coming to our attention, for always coming to our events. We are very grateful that ZRTS are here as the national broadcaster to build this and share it with the nation. After the signature of Lawyer Dabo, we will entertain a few questions from the media, and symbolically we will plant these coconut trees with the executive members who are here, just for a photo opportunity, really, so that we can all discuss. I think Lawyer Dabo has completed the assigned task. He's always very diligent. The press is telling me to come to their mic. Yes, I believe Lawyer Dabo has completed his task. Whatever UDP assigned him, he does it excellently well. So now we will have a few questions from the media, and thereafter we will have a ceremonial planting of some of these seedlings here, and we will close by presenting seedlings to the media houses that are present here, so that they can, at their offices, at their place of work, they can keep it there Obviously, as we progress with the project, all the national institutions will be presented with seedlings to express our goodwill and best wishes for their institutions as well as for the nation at large, especially during this time of COVID-19. Your Excellency, please, you have the floor. Please identify your media house, and then you can ask your question.
He doesn't think there's any question.
Yes, sir.
Senegalese, of course, authorities were here at the state house to discuss about how to combat COVID-19 through working with the government of Zambia. As a political party, we do see this as something to do. Now, the second question is, do you have anyone?
What was the question?
Senegalese
Yes,
delegation.
as a political leader.
Whether we see that as a fruitful activity.
Yes, so do you have anyone that you can call? Today is your 24th birthday of the party. Do you have anyone in the party who was in the United Democratic Party and you feel like the person have worked a lot for the party and he is no more with the party? Do you have anyone to call to come and join the party among the great members of this party?
So I don't understand the last question. The last question, I don't understand the last question.
Can you phrase your question again? You want him to call specific
yes,
individuals?
do you have anyone that you want to call to come back to your party, United Democratic Party, among the people who are left already? Today is the 24th birthday of the party. Maybe you have other people who come to the party and they are no more in the party. What are you going to tell them? Do you have anyone to call to come back to the party and join again? That's the question.
Let me start with your first question. The Senegalese medical team that's come to the Gambia. I don't think any Gambian who is concerned with the fight against COVID should really raise any objection about that. After all, we want expertise from every part of the world, including our own people, to help contain this deadly virus. This is not a question of politics. This is a matter of national interest. Whatever will protect this country against the spread of this pandemic, I mean, we should do it. It does not matter where the expertise comes from. It can come from Senegal, it can come from Cuba, it can come from the United States of America. The important is the mission that they want to accomplish. And I think we should really welcome them. Yeah, the second question, whether I want anybody who has left the United Democratic Party to come back. Well, of course, I mean, we are campaigning every day. We are on, vigorous recruitment drive. So anyone who has left the United Democratic Party should come back. We ask them to come back. We are not going to single out any individual and say, look, I'll come back. We say anyone. In fact, even those who have never been part of the United Democratic Party, we are asking them to come and join the United Democratic Party.
My name is Raymond Sonko from Africa TV. Honorable, my question would be, you made mention of how miserable the government of the Gambia, the tactics they use of power, the COVID-19. If a UDP government is in place, what difference will you do?
If you have a UDP government in place, what difference?
if the UDP government will do, if this is in place, what tactic will you use that is better than the current one the current government is using?
In the first place, we would not have allowed this situation to reach the level that is at stake. After all, this disease, we all had information when it broke out in China. That was the time we should start putting our acts together and prepare that since this pandemic, the virus has no borders. It has no borders and it does not secure visas from anybody to enter any particular country. We will do the necessary things so that by the time that this pandemic reaches the Gambia, we would have been fully prepared. Would have been fully prepared with our treatment centers in every part of the country, in all the regions. Our testing centers in every region in this country. We would have made all the necessary arrangements to get all the test kits. And in the event that it doesn't break out, those treatment centers that we have designated, we could use them for some other purposes. That is what we would have done. We would not have waited until we are in the midst of the pandemic and then start running helter-skelter to see what we can do. This is what we would have done differently. And certainly, the resources that we mobilize, we will certainly use it judiciously on the advice of our professionals. I think it is quite shameful when the minister on the floor of the National Assembly and any minister who stands on the floor of the National Assembly and makes a statement, that statement is not just made for the members of the National Assembly, it's for the entire nation. And if the Minister of Health stands in the National Assembly addressing our elected representatives, addressing the people of the Gambia, and giving out his dissatisfaction with the management of the funds, what he considered as some dubious activities. Nothing, still now, we have nothing. And what we hear is other ministers saying, well, these are allegations, and that it has to be audited. If I was president, when the Minister of Health made that statement, I think it was on a Friday, in the National Assembly, that Saturday, he would be at lunch with me. And we'd start discussing what to do. And we will invite the fraud squad to come in and start the investigation, because the minister will not go to the National Assembly and just make a statement like that without any reason. He will not mislead the Gambian people. It was not frustration, but he was really speaking the truth. I think that we would have done that to show our seriousness that, these funds are not here to be dissipated. These funds are not here to be dipped into by people who have absolutely no scruples, people who are only bent on self-enrichment. That is what we would have done.
Right. Honorable, as of tomorrow, the 24th of February, the Banking General Hospital will be turned into a treatment center. During your speech or your statement, you have made mention of it. Will you elaborate more on that? Is it a good idea or a bad idea to turn one of the most busiest referral centers to a COVID-19 treatment center?
You mean to change the Serakunda Health Center, convert Serakunda Hospital? But I have said it. I don't think it's a good idea. Now, you have people who go to seek medical attention at Serakunda Health Center. They are not suffering from COVID-related illnesses. You have a gynecology department there. You have all other domain units that deal with ordinary ailments. Where are you going to take those people to? Serakunda Health Center, does not have the capacity. The Bundu Health Center does not have the capacity. The Edward Francis Small Hospital is overstretched. So it's not a good idea at all. In fact, as I have said, if we were in government, these are the things we would have done. Try to make sure that we already have treatment centers, identified places, and develop them as treatment centers, rather than ad hoc. How many patients are going to get discharged from Serakunda Health Center? And when you get them discharged here, where do you take them? That is why we suggest that tent at State House. We used to see Ajame congregate with his people there. And we also have seen there were times when President Baramba Barrow holds rallies there. That should be moved. to unidentified location, and within a period of 3 weeks, with seriousness, we can mount a well-equipped treatment center and leave Serakunda Hospital to operate as it is.
Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Abdullah Yao from Kuala Lumpur. I have a couple of questions. You advise the general Gambian in general to adhere to the rules of WHO. Among the things that we really denial of the existence of COVID-19, in that case, advices will be a little bit different. What that will be related to people that didn't know that COVID-19 was my second question is...
Sorry, I'm not getting the... I think the question takes it too far.
People that didn't deny that COVID-19 doesn't exist. It's a thing that is affected. What advice do you have before the following WHO? My second question is, pre-planting being part of your difference that your 24-25. Why we planting? Two questions. And the last one is just a little bit out of it, but we just want to inquire how far we can UDP program. The food bank. UDP food bank.
No, it's not a, I will come to that. Very well. Okay, very well. Okay. Now, your first question about following guidelines and certainly people in denial, we do appreciate that people are in denial, and that is really what should not be. That is why we all should mount this awareness campaign and bring it to the attention of everybody that this is just not mere talk, it is reality. People are dying from COVID-19 every day. Of course, you have to accept the fact that this exists, because in some situations, you are denied to bury your own relative. Why? Why is that? Because the person is suspected to have died from COVID-19. Otherwise, you would have taken custody or control of your disease relative and do the burial. I want to tell every Gambian that COVID-19, coronavirus, is existing. It is a reality. It is a killer. There is no cure for it. So we must all abide by the guidelines of the Minister of Health and WHO. Otherwise, if you do not believe it, you are exposing your family to untold danger, because one person affected can spread it throughout the family. And if you get 4 or 5 persons in the family dying within space of 4 or 5 days, that will be a matter of regular. And I don't think we should wait for that to happen before we accept the fact that COVID-19 exists in this country. And your second question was the planting of the tree. Well, you see, for several years, this country has suffered from the negative impact of desertification. And this is due largely to the irresponsible felling of trees throughout. I don't want to look discriminatory, but look, you go to Badibu, you see a whole stretch, more than a mile, and you just see few trees. When in the 60s, you don't want to be found by Maghrib time on the road in any place, because we have lions, hyenas, and other dangerous and ferocious animals, and because we had the forest. But we have irresponsibly managed this forest cover to the extent that it's causing desertification, and the desert is gradually drawing into the Gambia. And we all have a responsibility to ourselves and to posterity to arrest the deforestation. That is why we are embarking on this tree planting. We've called it Neto, planted Neto. After all, it's just not the Neto that we want planted. We want the Keno, we want the Jalo, we want the Sito. We want all these trees, to be planted so that we can regain our lost forest cover. And hopefully, when we gain our lost forest cover, we will also be able to gain our animals that have gone away because because their natural habitat has been so badly destroyed that they cannot find a place for shelter. And your last question is there is no UDP food bank. There is Hussein Dabo's initiative of a food bank. Mr. Sane is a member of the committee, and we believe that Thursday next week or Thursday this week, the beneficiary councils will be asked to come and collect their allocations. We already distributed to Kuntauru Area Council, and there's going to be some additional bags of rice distributed to allocated to Kuntauru Area Council. So it's not a UDP initiative, it is a Hussein Dabo initiative, and I hope that people will understand it that way.
Good morning, good afternoon. There are two difficult decisions that we took. One, for me, was when you are selected to become political party. It was a decision that was difficult for me. And the second one was the day you took on policy. And you see who always calling people not to go out for demonstration. These two decisions which one was difficult for you to do? And what do you think out of it? Are you Democrats? And what is democracy? Did you be Democrat? Or what do you achieve from that process?
The acoustic is so bad,
You said that you made two significant decisions in your political career.
Yeah.
One is to accept to lead the UDP, and the other one is to go out to demonstrate after the killing of Solo Sunday. Which of these is more difficult for you? Secondly, you believe in democracy, but nobody eats in democracy. Nobody eats democracy. So
nobody is democratic, is it?
Nobody eats
No,
democracy.
I said, he believes in democracy. He's still democracy. And what has he achieved in democracy?
Well, I think for the two decisions that I made, what really agitated my mind in doing so is service to my country. I felt that the decision I was taking in 1996 was for the good of my country and for the restoration of democracy. And I also felt that the decision to go out to demonstrate for the arrest and then murder of Solo Sandeng was really for ensuring that the rule of law prevails in this country. So, and none of the decisions was difficult for me because I was convinced that they were the right thing to do. The decision would have been difficult if I had something non-altruistic. But in my view, I think I was being altruistic, I was being concerned for my country, and that all those occasions, my country was very badly affected. What happened to Solo, he died. But what happened to Lammaram, to Falam, to Modungong, to Fatu Kamara, to Fatmata Jawara, to Nogoy, we are so horrendous that anyone in his right mind, anyone who cared for the rule of law in this country, you would protest. And we thought that this was the best way to protest it.
Well, Mr. Dabo,
Democracy and democracy.
he asks, are you a Democrat? And because we feel you are Democrats. And over the time, what has he achieved in these Democrats for your party?
Well, I think we have, over the years, gave respect of the Gambian people and gave respect of the international community. There has always been occasions when, if we were irresponsible, if we did not really believe in democracy precepts, we would have thrown this country into flames. We would have really, we would have really caused, a lot of problems in this country, which would, in my view, be anti-democratic. Because we have never lost, the United Democratic Party has never lost faith in the ballot box. I've always believed in the ballot box, and we always believe that through the ballot box, we can effect a change. We could have chosen the other way, but we didn't think that that would be for the good of the country. And I think this helped us to earn the respect of all right-thinking people. There are others, of course, who I know are not right-thinking people. They will say that is trash. But this is what we believe, and we will continue to believe in that way, because we believe that it is only through pursuing your cause by democratic means that you're able to have a stable and sustainable society.
Well, Mr. Dabo. Well,
are there any questions from the audience? Chief, you have asked a question.
Yes, I have one.
No, I know. But are there other questions there?
Maybe.
It doesn't seem like it. Please go ahead.
Well, Mr. Dabo, we didn't have so much success in the last local government and parliamentary election. Come 2021, we believe UDP can be the same success.
Well, Mr. I want to tell you one thing, and I want you to take this to the bank. The presidential election that is coming in 2021, UDP is the winner. Take that to the bank. Also, the legislative and the local government elections that will take place, UDP will do better than it did in the past legislative and local government. Gentlemen, it's not usual of me to make such statements, but I know what the political terrain looks like. And whatever changes takes place in the political terrain is not going to affect this prediction that I've told you. Notwithstanding the fact that we have other political parties coming up, but UDP is growing by the day, and is growing with men of influence, and is growing with persons of high intellectual capacity. And what do you need in politics for a successful party? Men of influence and women of influence with people with brain in the background doing the work. And we have those things.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we are very grateful, but I think we will bring the Q&A session to a close. The next item on the agenda would be for the party leadership present here to present to the media houses and media representatives here seedlings of the little that we have. And we will also have a formal ceremony outside with the party leadership, the National President, the Secretary General, and his deputy to plant 3 coconuts around the KMC bureau. This is not our national bureau, as you will understand, but given the COVID situation and all the things that are going on, once the project starts, you will be in no doubt how the implementation is going to go. So now I have the singular pleasure and honor to invite the Deputy Party Leader, Antiem Sega, to present this to GRTS representative, a sibling, a NATO sibling of some height. Where is the GRTS representative? This is for the campus. It's coming. This is a gesture of goodwill from the United Democratic Party to your institution. The next seedling will be presented by His Excellency Alaji Kemeseng Jamme to iAfrica TV or their representatives. iAfrica TV. Thank you very much. The last seedling will be presented by the National Acting President, Antiem Yabo. This will be presented to Paradise TV.
No handshake. No handshake.
No handshake. No handshake. Just flower pot, huh? Please, no handshake. And the other one will be presented by our Finance Minister, Alaji Amadou Sane, to Star FM or their representative present here. The next seedling will be presented by Auntie Mary to Cape Fatu. Focus on Auntie Mary. Kerfatu, representative from Kerfatu. The next seedling would be presented to Fatu Network, and the majority leader, Honorable Kebake Barrow, will do the honors. Who is representing Fatu Network here? There is a guy from Walikundane. I think we should. I mean, he is going around impersonating a soldier and all kinds of things. The representative of Digital FM Home Media, Member Kering, is Member Kering represented by anybody here today? Doesn't look like it. In his stead, Kamaraba Ko, a Wato Sita, will be presented by the campaign manager for UDP, Honorable Fakeba Koli.
Yes.
UDP TV and Media and the Diaspora Network
Bantaba.
and UDP Bantaba in recognition of their immense contribution to the development of the party. We are presenting this in their name. And I will do the honors. Almami Fandika, UDP spokesman. Well, thank you very much. The other event is really for the party leader and the national president and the deputy party leader to symbolically plant this coconut just outside, right outside there.
Thank you.
I hope everybody from the media has gotten on the door. We have a few more. We don't know Sirif.
No, you arranged this before.
Using the Serekunda General, he reviewed the area of using the the Kanifing General Hospital as a treatment center. He believed, like, we should have used different available mechanisms to curb the spread of the virus, because he argued that it is one of the most, or the main referral centers. If it is used as a treatment center, where will other people who suffered or illness from other diseases or virus will be treated from? Because in the Omban area or in the Greater Banjul area, most people either use the Birikama Health Center or the Serekunda, and Serekunda is one of the main hospitals we have in the Gambia. I think, if apart from that of the Edward Francis Teaching Hospital, it is the biggest. A whole lot of things has been said here, and currently we are seeing some party national executive members will plant some metro, that's locust bean tree. It is one of the initiative. It is one of the initiatives UDP on Earth today, that they will be planting over the years is 2 million trees across the country. We know that UDP symbolizes meadow, that's the locust bean. Mandinkas will call it, that they are particular. You are seeing Lawyer Hussein Dabo, the Secretary General, yes, he is planting. Wow. He did that with Adian Cheka, and it has been planted. Sorry. So many people gathered here, not the usually big crowd the UDP normally pulls, because we are in the COVID-19 pandemic. We all know how deadly it is and how easily or quickly it can transfer from one person to another. Mbadingol alba sanjanteng alba Africa TV online jiwe kan madamin to wala UDP biro member Manjay Kunda member kiro wala UDP bi ibela parti la sanni monde nane bola dura kan social distancing ani ba dura kan dawale la Manjay biro wala parti la Manjay biro di an nga jele la parti leader wala la parti nyaadon ko do yaw ko kila ana fo nyaadi parti fana nara nyami parti leader nyami ya wolbe fo jele anin sancana so bi bonu isu so lan kulumba keri sancanta min kam ta ko be ngala jankaro mbakeri min sate dunia kono min keda covid-19 ya fole ko Gambia government yo fewel min sidi furka skuraw min bay a jele ko jatal wol manke fe kendo nyanda ka dolta la mi yalan ko wala kumayata dina minke dina ba min ta kan a fole ko fanan ngam kibarol findira ko tage ko sama tilmanu nanu ogos kalola Serekunda General Hospital wa falina le wa treatment center wala iwa covid-19 jala dang bare a jele ko mo fona manke ku kendati mi ajibe wolo tano ko bisi bakele mo jumala kataje ni ko bo falina ka ke jankaroti aba ka ke covid-19 jala ngina sa dolla azake no murum ko moti fanam well Bangole well, we are witnessing some tree plantings. That's a coconut being planted by the party leader Hussein Dabo and the deputy party leader. Yeah, I'm a shaker. The deputy national president Rara. Yeah, I'm in the harbor. 24th anniversary of your party. You know, how significant is today to you and to the UDP party?
It is very significant in the sense that UDP has gone on the phases. The first phase was in '96 when things were tough, political parties were banned, some patriotics of this country came together in the form of parties to form a party. So the United Democratic Party was as a result of the coming together of the PPP, the GPP, the NCP, and on some other very important personalities. That was the first phase to start the battle to change the dictatorship that was here. The second phase, we went until 2016 when there was a bigger coalition and UDP took a very leading position in that, and even the presidential candidate was posed by the party. That is also another significant milestone in the history of United Democratic Party. Now, this year is taking a third phase because the 2020 elections are just at the corner, and like the party leader said, the winner of the 2021 elections is going to be the United Democratic Party because all things are in order and we are all set for that milestone.
What convinced the UDP leadership and its supporters that come 2021 UDP will win the general presidential election and other elections like the parliamentary election and the local government election?
It does not need to be a rocket scientist to be able to predict that. Every political party, you must have a baseline to make your predictions. The baseline for the United Democratic Party is that we've been here for 24 years. We have our structures all over. And in the last political election cycles, the local governments and the parliamentary elections were fought on partisan tickets. And UDP took the lead in all these two important elections. So that's a benchmark for us to make a prediction. Nobody can doubt that. You go to the local government elections, almost all the chairpersons are United Democratic Party. The National Assembly election, 31 constituencies were voted in on the ticket of the United Democratic Party. So it's a benchmark to make a prediction. Simple. Tell me which other party can use such a benchmark to make such a prediction. Doesn't exist.
Well, sir, one of the burning issues is, come tomorrow, the 24th of August, this, Personal General Hospital will be turned into a treatment center. What is your comment on that?
I do not welcome that idea because the Serekunda Hospital is a major hospital in the region, in the country. And there are a lot of patients there. So turning that to a treatment center would be it's difficult because you cannot, what are you going to do with the patients that are there? So for me, my take on that is I do not welcome it. I think what the government should have done was to create special treatment centers because there are enough money that has come into this country to fight COVID. So if government is not able to create a special center, then they are not serious with what they are doing with our funds. They don't have no justification to turn that to a COVID treatment center. There are enough funds to create one, special, so that the patients that are taking their normal treatments continue to take their normal treatments.
In case the government do not, use those special funds you said they are available, what you, as one of the whistleblowers and as a National Assembly member, will do to make sure that the government at least build one or more treatment centers?
Well, as National Assembly members, we can always tell government what is right, and we can urge government and lobby them to spend people's money where it is necessary. And we will continue to do that at the national level, assembly level. And then at national assembly, we have different committees that are responsible for different things. So the health committee will take it up. And I'm quite sure, next sitting, which is September, the ministries will receive a lot of questions, parliamentary questions, centered around this COVID fund and how it is spent. So those are some of the functions of National Assembly member as our oversight functions. So we will definitely go into that.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Well, that was the Honorable Madi Cisse, and I will be having the former Secretary General Mamadou Sabali. Well, Mr. Sabali, what entices you to join the Mighty Yellow, as you normally put it?
The question is a bit stale because I'm almost a year in UDP. And I've said over and over that amongst the existing parties in this country, there is no party with a better agenda, with a better platform for the empowerment of young people than the UDP. And anybody who knows Mamadou Sabally knows that my best constituency is the young people. My favorite cohort of the Gambian population is the youths. UC Kemo Bojang, Suleiman Saho, Honorable Rohi Malik Lo, Talib Bensouda, Landing Sane, Honorable Alaji S. Dabo, Honorable Sana Jawara. The best and brightest in our governance infrastructure were all put into place by the United Democratic Party.
What are some of those policies, can you mention one or two?
Oh, absolutely, just like the party leader.
That entices you to join the party.
Just like the party leader said, the party was rooted in democracy, respect for human rights, and national progress. And if you look at those in the forefront right now, who has a better credential for this than the Honorable Usainu Dabo, a trained constitutional lawyer who spent his whole life defending people, trying to defend and protect people's lives. Somebody who stood his ground for 22 years to fight for a change of government based on the ideals he believes in. He has the competence intellectually, he has the background morally, and he has the tenacity and foresight to lead a party that should move this country forward based on rule of law.
How significant do you think that the 2 million trees that UDP plant will have in this country?
Well, it's going to be a game changer for sure. Like the party leader said, we've not managed our ecosystem very well. Deforestation is rampant, and planting trees is one thing, but planting fruit trees makes it even more significant. 2 million trees, 2-3 years down the round, all the Kiyankas will be well fed. They will no longer be hungry again.
That's good. Another thing also is you are an economist, and a lot of people are blaming the finance minister, and you have seen you writing a whole lot of articles, against some of his policies. Do you think that he's the right man, to rally behind our president to fight against this pandemic?
You're talking about the finance minister, Mambure Njai. Well, as you all know, I understand he's sick, and since I heard that he's sick, I've stopped talking about him. I think we should give him the space to recover, but I still stand by all my criticism of all his policies and misguided actions. But for now, since he's sick, I want to pull back a little bit and allow him to convalesce and come back to the scene for us to continue our national development debate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
si ñëw bi nga ñëw seet si suma tabax gi kontaan naa ci trop.
maa gën a kontaan bi ma ñëwee fekk sa tabax bi toll fii waaye nag man kontaanuma ci sama kër gi man.
lu xew.
ndax umpalewul woon ne ñoo bokkoon nekk Europe.
dëgg la
jamono yu ñu nekkee foofu yëpp man ak yow maa ngi am benn waay maa ngi ko yónnee xaalis bu bari pour mu sampal ma suma kër. te ba léegi tabax bi àggul fenn. te yow nga waxoon ma ne ma bi nga starté samp yàggul léegi nga toll fii foo jaar.
li waral loolu nag mooy dama ànd ak waa Baluwo.
kon su ma la déggee Baluwo dañuy yëngu ci samp kër tamit.
ni ngay def nag yomb na da ngay log on to www.baluwo.com. mun ngaa jënd ci ñoom ciment suuf banta weñ ba ci daaj yi nga xam ne di nga ko soxla lépp lu jëm ci wàllu samp rek mun nga koo am ci lu yomb ak Baluwo daal.